What's up, everyone? I'm Morgan Greenwald, and welcome back to MSG Entertainment. With Justice League coming out on digital release on February 13th, Blu-ray and DVD March 13th, and Aquaman slated to get his own solo movie on December 21st, 2018, I'm going to be talking about the DCEU, or the DC Extended Universe, and how it should come to an end for now. There are several factors that led to my conclusion that DC needs to get their heads on straight before trying again to make an extended universe. First is what Justice League made in the box office. Some would say it didn't do very well. I would say that it did terribly. The movie cost $600 million to make, but only brought in $655 million to the box office. For those who can't do math that well, like me, that's only a $55 million profit, making it the lowest earning DC movie. Compare that to its Marvel team-up counterpart, The Avengers, which made over $1.5 billion on a $220 million budget. DC's just certainly not up to par. The second is its average rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Going by the audience rating, not the critics one, Justice League had a decent 77%. But if you put that against The Avengers' 92%, again, it just doesn't compete. Third is the franchise's collective viewer rating. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, from Iron Man to Thor Ragnarok, since at the time of this filming Black Panther hasn't been released yet, has an average viewer rating of 83.7%. This could have been higher, but some of the sequel movies like Iron Man 2 and Thor the Dark World brought that rating down, showing that Marvel 2 makes flops. Whereas in the DCEU, they have a 72.6% viewer rating, but without the masterpiece of the franchise, Wonder Woman, the average score would be in the 60s. So other than Wonder Woman, it seems that DC's movies just aren't as appealing to audiences as the Marvel films are. Finally is the time frame of the movies. Marvel started their now 10-year-old franchise in 2008 with Iron Man. It then took them 4 years to develop their characters before making the Avengers, and further years to develop the team to go into this year's upcoming Avengers Infinity War. Whereas with the DCEU, they started in 2013 with Man of Steel and waited 4 years, like Marvel, to make their team-up movie. But the difference is that in those 4 years, instead of making solo films to develop the members of the Justice League, they instead made a symbol of truth, justice, and the American way into a Superman who has no repercussion of property damage, human life, or his villain's life because he kills him instead of finds a way to actually subdue him. Maybe that is the American way nowadays. They briefly developed Batman into a seemingly sadistic, almost anti-hero-like persona with mommy issues.
What does that mean? Why did you say that name? Why did you say that name?
Said screw it to the Justice League altogether and made a movie that needs to just be completely forgotten. And made one movie that actually shows how a member of the Justice League should actually act. 4 guesses onto what movie that was. Now you might be thinking, oh Morgan, you're just hating on the franchise. If Wonder Woman can do really well, I'm sure the upcoming movies will do just fine. And you might be right. Aquaman is being directed by James Wan, who has already proven himself to be a more competent director than Zack Snyder with his Conjuring series. Shazam, which is supposed to be released on April 5th, 2019, is being helmed by David S. Sandberg, the director behind Lights Out and Annabelle Creation. So there is some possible hope for the upcoming DC films. But the sequel to Justice League is going to be directed by the man who has truly hurt how some people see the DCEU, Zack Snyder. Now don't get me wrong, Justice League is perfect if you're just looking for a mindless, entertaining movie. But since it's tried to compete with the powerhouse that is the MCU and their Avengers, there's just no comparison between the two companies. To get their new universe started on a good note, the executives at DC need to flesh out their characters, starting with giving the characters we don't really know about, like Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman, please throw in Martian Manhunter, their own films. The reason why Avengers did so well is because we knew about all of the Avengers before they were brought together. With Justice League, we were introduced to half of the group in the movie. That's not how a proper expanded universe, or really a team-up movie of superheroes, should work in general. Because let's be honest, we may love or hate DC and Marvel, but a majority of us who are really into the comic book movie genre love to watch both companies' films so that we can debate about who makes a better movie, who has the better plot. And right now, it just seems that it's Marvel. Thank you everyone who took time out of their day to watch this. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. Go ahead, subscribe to this channel so you can get more content like this. And in the comments down below, let me know how you feel about the DCEU in general, what movies I should review in the future, or what part of a franchise should I look deeper into. I'm Morgan with MSG Entertainment. Thanks for watching.